It is Monday, Keto Moments, and I am just getting off of work. I did not have time to film this morning. I was on the phone with work the whole way into work, so couldn't use it to film. But I wanted to talk about the documentary, The Magic Pill. Everybody's talking about it, and I watched that, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I do want to say that it is worth the view. Now, of course, they can't fit everything into a documentary, so there's a lot of missing stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I wish they would have elaborated on a little bit better, but at least it is a positive outlook on keto with scientific research and basis behind it. So it is really worth watching if you haven't. Gotta really have maybe a box of tissues because I cried through most of it, but a lot of it touched home for me because I work in the developmentally disabled industry. I have been in the field for 24 years. I have physically and developmentally disabled family members, and it really touched home. And I've known, my whole life, there was ways to make my sister's life better. She had epilepsy. My nephew's life better. He's autistic. But with no clue. And doctors never mentioned, before my sister had passed away, they had never talked about the ketogenic diet. And I just wonder how her life would have been different if we had known about it. And would she still be here? Would she still be here if we had known about it? Because her issues stemmed from the medication that she had to take to control the epilepsy. Your body can only filter so much of that poison. And then it killed her kidneys. So she spent many years on dialysis. And finally, it got to where she couldn't be on dialysis anymore, and we needed a transplant desperately. And my mom was morbidly obese at the time, and they didn't want to do it, but they took one of my mom's kidneys and transplanted it to my sister, because without it, she was going to die. And my mom did really fine with that. She came through the surgery wonderfully, but she went on vacation and she got very, very sick, and the high fever damaged and killed her other kidney. And my mom spent her remaining years on kidney dialysis, and it got to the point where my mom was going to pass away if she didn't get a kidney. And this part here is unbelievable. Even the doctors could not believe that this happened. My dad's like, I want to be tested. I know I'm the same blood type as my wife. I want to be tested. My dad went and was tested and came back a perfect tissue type for my mother. And that had never happened before, that a mother donated to a daughter and then a husband donated to the wife in the same family. So there was actually a case study wrote up on my mom and dad and sister. There was actually a case study that a high state university, Dr. Hernandez and Dr. Austin, wrote up about that story and how that worked. Also wrote up, of course, we came to find out at that time, that's why all of us had birth defects, because our parents were too close in DNA match, tissue type, that all of us was born with birth defect. I was born with a heart issue, a hole in my septum and ventricular valve disease. My sister was born with spinal bifida and hydrocephalus. My other sister was born with a brain tumor. My other sister was born with all the precursors to, I'm saying this wrong, progeria. It never manifested itself, thank goodness. But to know that there might have been things to make my sister's lives better and to give them a better quality of life and a better quantity of life. My one sister passed when she was 4, and my other sister, thank goodness, she lived until she was 38 years old. But she could have had a much better life if we had known about the ketogenic diet. And I wonder about my sister Janice. She died of brain cancer. If we had known about the ketogenic diet, would we have been able to shrunk that tumor enough that they could have went in and safely removed it? All day, after watching that video, all day I have thought about my family and the stuff that we've went through. And it just pisses me off at the FDA and all the big pharmacy companies that they are keeping the cure for most diseases and health ailments under wraps because of money. And now this, I am not a doctor, I am not a nutrition, nor am I a dietitian. This is just my own personal opinion. But that's shitty. 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 So, watch that documentary if you haven't taken the time to do it. I'm not sure. I think it might be a little over an hour long. I'm not 100% sure. I should have checked that to see the length of it. But it is worth your time to watch it. Especially if you have somebody with epilepsy, with dementia, Alzheimer's, with autism. Check it out. Do the research afterwards and judge for yourself what should be done for your family members. Because I know if I could go back in time, things would be different for my family. Alrighty, guys. If you watch it, let me know what you think. You guys have a great evening and blessings.